that's one of our larger charges. Not just, this isn't a discussion about Blackboard. This isn't a discussion about IPTV. This is a discussion about technology on with large. And so we need to create an avenue for things other than this turning into a discussion on an up or down vote on bloody IPTV. It could be, or collaborate, or like that. It has to be much stronger. Right, and that's why I started with that's why I think you need to do this.
Rank the importance.
Rank the importance.
That's one of the ways you can do a survey. Put them in ranking of importance.
One thing like that, what Alice was saying, that is an excellent point is, how do they know, do we have an accurate description of what faculty needs? Yeah, and maybe it's just kind of a survey.
Crystal has a comment, but
Embrace.
You are now unmuted.
Okay, is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So all those are great ideas. Just so you know, there are several different models of school-wide, university-wide needs assessment surveys already created that we can look at and adapt to our specific needs. But those are already out there in Likert scale or in a kind of a mixed method, both Likert and comment for the qualitative if you want that. But those surveys already exist.
do you have access to those?
Yeah.
You can get for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Can she post on our Blackboard site so we can approve?
I can add her that. Does anybody have problems with her? Yeah, we'll be added on there.
Yeah.
And you can just post them on the Blackboard site for us.
Sure. I might need I'll try this is Friday before spring break, and then I'm going to Mississippi with our Native Institute Sunday through Saturday. But I will try to reach out. There are some that are already available online. But just with if we are due to make publishable recommendations by May 2nd, that's not a lot of time to create a survey and get it published and get results back.
And with that
Do you
number,
think that Monday or Tuesday after spring break would be feasible for you to give us links to some of those
You are now unmuted.
pre-packaged or pre-existing surveys?
I will do what I can. I can't promise that. Again, I'm going to be trekking through the hills of Mississippi throughout spring break. So I will do what I can. You can also, a lot of those are online. So if you can do a web search. Crystala, maybe you can help with that too. Because some of these needs assessments should already be published online. Also, the consortiums of higher learning and technology for higher learning often publish these sorts of needs assessment surveys. Okay, but I will get them. I'll do my research as soon as possible. But please know that I'm pretty booked.
You are now
And
unmuted.
it might be a realistic goal, very useful, that just by May 2nd, we've created a catalog of what faculty are using and what are they prioritizing. And so, and to say, okay, by May 2nd, that could be a very admirable goal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because before we can delve into a whole lot of this and that, let's make sure we know what people are using and what they,
Good point.
Agree.
and that's,
You are now
and
unmuted.
really, I don't want us to have some more.
of a delivery.
I don't want us to feel some great need to rush to a decision because of some arbitrary deadline.
Right.
Agree.
Mind you, we don't want $66,000 being spent in a relatively arbitrary way. As well. We can do both. We can do a parallel track. I believe.
So, and as long as we know, okay, we've got 150 faculty members and 80% are using this and 60% are using this, and I think that is some very rich data that could be great to report on by May 2nd, and then that gives us our foundation for exploring further.
Well, how much of that is already available?
And
For example, you know how many faculty use Blackboard, right?
this would be a better survey, honestly, because what we do is we pull how many courses have been requested, but that's not the same as how many are all online, how many faculty are face-to-face, and it also sometimes is skewed by the fact that we have so many courses merged together. And so I pull numbers. I don't even believe that they're perfect.
Well, a survey won't be any closer.
I would appreciate I would like this very much. It would be,
How about just a collection of the brute data to get us started? How many online courses are offered? How many IETV? I know how many faculty use Blackboard.
but that won't, I mean, we can know how many use it. What we don't know is their satisfaction.
Right, but
Right.
Like I only log into Blackboard to really activate by reading that center. So as far as from an academic standpoint, I should not be counting.
how many use it for courses?
Right. And that's so do you have that kind of line then?
I can tell you how many use it for courses. That's not gonna tell you whether they only use the grade center. Or if they actually use it to teach the class.
For all my face-to-face classes, I do Blackboard just so I have an efficient way of returning graded items. Yeah, and see, I say here, when I would teach them face-to-face, I'd say here, go to Blackboard and find this article. Go to Blackboard and watch this video. Go to Blackboard, which is a very different use.
I say all my articles online.
Yeah, I upload my lecture
PowerPoint
PowerPoint.
to the course.
So are you using it as a grade book? Or are you using it as a
resource?
As a resource, yeah. Which is a pretty interesting.
Well, we clearly need both sets, and I don't think it's, I don't think I'm really saying it's both good things. I think the survey is also fundamentally necessary. There's no reason why I have to do both. Is that agreed?
Sure. My question was, can we gather the data that's available up front? Of course, we do a survey, but that would give us a sketch to perhaps target the question.
Post all of the data that I have.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I can put that on MCNet or something.
Multiple data sets. Yeah, it's important.
Because
Everybody is good response.
Yeah,
That's very right.
Especially in particular.
are pretty much all April 1st, 15th, 29th. We need to be able to do something the 4th by the 29th. So, yeah, I think it needs to be finished by the 15th at least, the latest.
The survey?
Yes.
The data collection.
Yeah. So it gives us 2 weeks before the last meeting to look at it more.
So if the survey is made available to the faculty for a short amount of time,
How long do you think? 2 weeks? Less? More?
the less time you give them, the more likely they just scroll to the next email. We make it a pretty quick turnaround. But we've had a lot of success with Faculty Senate making these voting sites only available for 3 days.
3 days. Wow.
Yeah, I think a week.
Well, we can actually do both. Do 3 days, wait, the next 3 days, and then do another 3 days. And we can use manipulation, we can.
But yeah, typically what happens is it's really something that you have like 2 weeks for the survey, and half the responses come in the first day. And then I send out a reminder, no responses come in for 2 or 3 days. And then I send out a reminder email, the next quarter the responses come in. That's how it is.
Can we have the questions finalized the week after?
You are now unmuted.
Yes, Crystal.
So just after a very brief cursory search while we're online here, I just dropped 2 links into the chat window of 2 sample. I believe the second one is university level. The first one's definitely university level. And the first one's published by EDUCAUSE, which is very valid and reliable organization. So those 2 should at least be able to get us started or thinking along the lines of what other folks are doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know.
Thank you. And
You are now muted.
can you also, after the meeting, email those to me also?
You are now unmuted.
Yes.
I think the week after spring break.
You are now
muted.
muted.
And then, that would give us the the first week of
last week of March to the end of April, the 28th through April 1st to administer it. We can shoot for that goal, and if we're behind, then we have some leeway that way. Okay, so immediately after spring break, this is when we get this stuff. Anything else we want to bring up in the survey? I didn't mention whether it should go to faculty only, or that should be included. I'm fine with this going to faculty. I just wanted to throw that out there. But I think my number one that would have some input would be the secretaries for each department do a lot of the help desk on behalf of, and they might have some comments there, but
That's a lot of staff who are serving as adjuncts.
that's very true, yes. And
They're on the
some
faculty
of-
member list, aren't they? No, they're not.
Some of those are on the faculty members, but not all.
Really? No, that's strange.
You're not, it's a lot of fun when you're trying to. I know when I've sent things out that I've gotten tons of people telling me I need to go to staff email also, so that's why I send everything to faculty and staff when it's Blackboard related.
Yeah, I keep being told, I think, that, yeah, all adjuncts are on the faculty mailing list, and that sounds nice to me, because, did we discharge, and I wasn't here, follow up with progress and recommendations?
No, I just give it to the survey.
Okay.
Come on,
I've got that next to it.
It's muted.
Comments on the survey.
So on Blackboard, we'll just make comments to probably figure out.
Yeah.
I can start making up a survey too. So, hopefully we'll have some simple questions.
Right, so use. Okay, so let's talk some about the first chart of recommendations. Do you have anything to put on there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So recommendation number 4 was to, have ears completed for all 1,000, 2,000 other courses. Everybody in. And so sent that out to chairs yesterday. I asked if Dean Scopus wanted to have him come to chairs meeting in our office. And since Dr. Reddy was the chair of last year's committee, of the committee that made that recommendation. And so she said it was busy, and let's see if we can get on the week after. And so I asked if we could just email it to the chairs. I mean, let's handle it through email if we don't have to meet about it. And so he sent that email out to all the chairs yesterday, and just told them if they have any. If I don't hear back from them, we'll move them forward. If they have a big heartburn about it, let us know, and we'll come to chairs meeting and discuss what the recommendation. But we have the rationale, the recommendation. We have the recommendation. Sure. Yeah.
Yes, he did, and I saw that, which is where I get most of the stuff from the chairs.
Dr. Preston's really good about it.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
So anyway, that was thing. We'll wait to hear back and see if there's any major concern. Actually, I'm sure there'll be, like what we discussed in fall, there will be some concern. At the same time, I know I've had 3 or 4 chairs that have been asking for this and requesting this use.
So, and the complaints about the faculty must take time oriented. It takes time to do it. We actually ask them to keep track of the time, so instead of just a couple of anecdotal, I'm not happy to just take a lot of time, I'll have an idea of how much time is actually taken. Yeah, and that'll help too.
Sure.
But there's one thing that'll make your years easier, and that's if all of the online courses get put into the same block when you pull them up on the drop-down list.
Instead of having 650
Right.
Well, by the way, in regards to the survey, this is actually part of technology. Because during Campus Connect. it's
Yeah,
part of-
and I had listed, I did the open comments, actually, that is a section for ways to stuff like that, so.
Christy, I think, is the one that would be handling it, but do we know anything as far as if the consolidating of those
multiple sections, is gonna be handled a different way yet.
What I've heard is that it's just everything is supposed to be, and it's going to be consolidated except for Argonne. Argonne has to stay separate, but other than that.
Was that for fall, is that the goal?
Yes, yeah.
And I know because they get that tuition,
There's a weird, yes, I don't know. But, that still streamlines it, so, yes, is the one thing we can take this as others.
Exactly.
You got that.
I'm excited about that. All right, any others?
What's happened to the gen ed?
I don't think that.
They met on Monday. The minutes are posted online on the Faculty Center website, and there was a link about general education. It's been tabled until we get information from Dr. Lawson. The interesting vote, according to the minutes there, that the Education Council was too hard and too hard.
You are now muted.
About that.
You are
And
now unmuted.
to preserve the culture, name of education. And three,
You are now
students,
muted.
one from each school. It was a pretty strong vote, I thought, and for what it's worth.
Well, it's interesting when you have a vote and no one else knows. It's good. Makes the vote very.
Well, they've scheduled also, and I applauded them for this, their next meeting. And it's on it's in April, I think, 13th maybe. Check it out on the Faculty Center website.
You are now unmuted.
Who's raising their hand at this?
You are now muted. You are now unmuted.
Sorry, that was a little garbled, but for transparency's sake, I should tell you I'm on GEC as the Education Department representative. And I didn't hear all of what Dr. Fridley said, but I think he did mention that we had requested more information about the Integrated Learning Initiative. And so, and yes, have scheduled a new meeting. So, and the vote was unanimous to keep the structure the way it was, with one representative per department per area.
Was there an explanation for that?
Well, in summary, you can read the minutes, but in summary, everyone felt the entire present committee felt that each area needed to be represented in order to make the group's decisions valid and reliable for all the different sectors of the university, since it was general ed, and they felt it was working and didn't see any real reason to change. I should say we.
But we haven't gotten more information.
Sorry?
Well, I mean, a couple of little research and get the right kind of data. And we'll kind of figure out what gen ed is.
I got 1 minute.
It's posted in university committees on the.
You are now muted.
Here's a technology question. How does that feedback loop? What causes that? That we're just busy with
our sound's coming out through her speakers and our mics.
Yeah. So I mean, does someone's?
It wasn't doing that earlier.
Yeah, I don't know
Did you
what.
change your mic, Crystal?
You are now unmuted.
No, I did not. The sound was coming through very clearly. Dr. Fridley started explaining about the GEC, and then about quarter way through his discussion, it started getting garbled. So I'm not sure what happened at that point. The weather has been bad, so maybe that's part of it.
You are now muted.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I missed that comment. Sorry.
You are now muted.
What she's doing and what we were laughing about earlier when I was trying, when she had a comment, she's just muting her mic when she's not talking.
That's what keeps it.
Congratulations.
Thanks for coming and going to this.
And I'm sorry, okay, I'm not wrong, we were scheduled 2 to 4, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
the
It's like, how'd I get it?
scheduled
Yeah.
meeting with the president and several of us wanted to be in their meeting, so,
Okay, good, I
yeah.
just wanna make sure it wasn't crazy or missing.
No,
Have a good spring break. Have a good spring break, Dr. Ginger.
All right, so Sean got here at a good time. One of the things that I talked especially to Alistair several times since our last meeting as far as needing information that's relevant before going very far. And we thought we would appreciate some answers. The help desk deals with upgrades, with purchasing, with the contracts and all of those things. So we wanted to invite someone from the help desk. I don't know if you thought very much about questions. I sent him some questions in general. And I just kind of, my list here is very quick. But any discussion that we would like to have as far as, where I would like to start is we're talking about things that we are interested in, but I don't know if the help desk already had some of those and they got put on hold, or if you're already ultra aware of a lot of those needs. What's the help desk interested in? Where are you guys wanting?
Our interest is supporting the users. What we call the propagate prevention. Of course, there's strategic planning. Most of that takes place within we have input, but primarily it's to support you guys. So, really is where you want to go in the future, in your classroom, in the office, and new technologies, you want to consider trying to get the budget to match up with those.
We've talked a lot about classrooms specifically. You know, maybe which classrooms are most dire need, or if in general they're all.
Well, I'll just give you kind of a quick historical perspective on the replacement plan. Back in about 2003 or 2004, we developed a 3-year replacement plan. Things all that. At that point in time, we had the budget to replace all the office and lab computers once every 3 years. Okay. Obviously, new technology was going to grow on campus. So what we were going to do is, if a department needed to add technology, we would make that purchase. But then a third of the cost of replacing that would come out of their budget for the next 3 years. So in the third year, when that machine really be replaced, our budget would continue to grow for the needs. That lasted a very short. Couple of business, we were quickly to the point where we had stretched to a 5-year replacement plan, which frankly the technology in most cases, for most users, 5 years is fine. For much of the same reason the politics tied in, the idea of keeping that problem from going quickly fell to the wayside. At which point we decided that the best way to target is the majority of our funds are A-funds have to be still direct into. We would target some labs, and it was the library lab, and at that time the computer science lab was really important. They would get replaced every year. And that way we had 150 to 200 one-year-old computers that could go anywhere. And we rolled with that plan, and that was probably 5 or 6 years that we did that. That worked pretty well. But you know, during this time, laptops are coming on campus, explosion in student labs. The budget never kept up with that. In fact, over the last 5 or 6 years, the budget goes down every year, everything goes up. I mean, if I had to give a word to the replacement plan, this was in 2016, it's true knowledge. And that's what it had been for several years now. And there is no further replacement plan for this. I think it did. We replaced the areas that needed to be.
What's our worst case in some classrooms? What's the oldest computer we have currently in the campus? Are they 6, 7?
You're talking some have 760s, 780s, which I don't know if that means anything to you, but that's some 89 years old.
Yeah, mine too.
Is that the same case for the problems in classrooms, or is one worse than the
I would say because the funding is less being funded, so majority of offices, the largest part of our budget is on the regular part of the house. As that.
It makes me laugh a lot. What I'm talking about is like this computer, like classroom computers. Are you rolling that in the labs, or is that completely separate?
We have always used the lab
Okay.
for class. In most instances, unless it needs to be with that, 2 or 3 old machines. In most cases, it's not. But we have, and the database, they put the database, it hasn't been modified. So going back a few years, the best number we did about 1,800 devices. Now that's just the CPU devices, the computers, laptops. I'm not going to do that very simply. But machines you would think would find a place. So 1,800 devices, you know, our budget is
What is that budget? So if we get a computer to replace in a classroom, how much would it cost us?
okay, and it's going to depend on whether it's Mac or PC.
Most classrooms are PC.
Most classrooms are PC. It depends from year to year, but you know, a good cost to go on that for computer monitors. If it's a Mac, and then if the Mac uses the rest of the Windows. Our campus line license is not covered, so for a Mac you would run Windows. Our Microsoft Office license it doesn't cover the OEM the initial install. So there is an expense that goes on Mac.
Ask other questions.
You didn't. So how did you get into computer, Sean?
You guys do all the other instructional technology, projectors and stuff like that, or is that?
We do printers, all the virtual scanners, projectors, documents, one of those.
And do you want a sense of where more demand is coming from, or more or less satisfaction at the moment?
No, we've always, the demand's always been for the innovative arts and sciences, this work. That has been typically the buying and
How do you think those
School of
demands-
Business has, well, like I said, that I consider our replacement plan kind of tree out. So, I mean, yeah, literally it is where and the most issues you identified, and what are those issues? Because those issues become easily identified as old equipment.
Yes. Are they just allowed?
I don't know, I broke out with last week, so.
How many smart boards do we have on this?
I don't have an exact number, but I want some numbers for
Are those kind of spread out, or are they mostly the same?
We're not my buildings. We're not mine.
Now, what's the difference in projectors? You know, a lot of it, well, in Morris and where I teach it, it's the projector, and that's real cool, except you have to walk in front of it. And I look at this, and I think that's really neat. You wouldn't have to walk in front of the light. And what's the difference between this kind of projector and the one that's in Morrison 222?
This is what they call a short-term projector,
Yeah.
which is primarily designed for this purpose. What it means to us is price. You know, that's a $2,000 projector versus the one time in the building.
Yeah.
Generally, we're in the $500 to $600 Okay. We're getting to that point though. At some point in the next, my guess it will be 20, 40, 48 months.
Mm-hmm.
The LCD technology, it's pretty common to go in Best Buy and see an 85, 90 inch TV for not a whole lot of money nowadays compared to. There's going to be a point coming soon where, me looking out in the future, I think that it will be like the past.
I know that there they go in schools have to really about changes. But the new LCD screens are for $5,000 to $10,000. But again, the projector prices have also been going down, increasing like quality and stuff, right?
And the thing you have to weigh on a projector, getting a projector hanging from the ceiling, about $600.
Mm-hmm.
But talking $300 bulbs, that typically you can just about figure, maybe not a bulb per semester, but let's say 2 bulbs per year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a $600 annual review cost for that. So if you look at even if it's $4,000 for a 90 or 100 inch LCD screen, if you can figure a life, 5 to 6 years, you're still out in that area where it makes more sense.
Okay, so you're just saying get a TV screen, a big TV screen, and put your computer into the computer.
Now, not all wall. Most computers have to do my house.
Okay, I guess I never really
That's
thought
what
about that.
We've done that in some buildings already, depending, because it's really, how big is the platform? That's where we're at now. But it makes sense to go up really up to 75, 80 inch. It really makes sense to go with LCD. But, a classroom like this certainly would be any larger than this.
How might that figure into IETV?
As far as
What's currently being used are monitors. Some of them are, right?
Well, I'll say this, the technology is no different between, it's just what's put into that. It's just a display.
Right.
Over there, they've got their IETV equipment, their cameras and all that stuff. To use it as a display. Their mics and all that stuff. Where you're communicating with your location, where you're meeting. None of that is built into the display itself. That's all. But the display itself. Those in most of the buildings, those IETV classrooms were done. Probably most of them, I think, is One over in Russell, they're
Russell, yeah.
6 or 7 years old.
We just had our AEP conference there, and there are 2 big screens with projectors, you know, and speakers are going in front of those lights all the time. It's quite disconcerting. And there are 2 big monitors on the edges, and the quality on the monitors is much better. And who does the design, the setup of the classrooms? Because wires are a big problem
Yeah.
in Morrison 222.
All the IETV stuff, of course, that's IETV is a department. But he doesn't necessarily, I mean, he knows essentially what he wants, but, you know, they get opinion. Design. I mean, that's very good.
Yeah. Morrison 222 is, I've been teaching there, and it's a pleasure to teach face, but the room has some problems. Morrison 222. The wires.
Morrison doesn't have a true IETV
No, they don't.
Yeah, those are just a portable Polycom.
He's not in the IEP.
This is face to face.
Oh, okay.
Face to face.
What you're saying is, though, you're not sure that projector that comes along.
Oh yeah, and also that big table up on the stage, it takes up most of the stage. I think classroom design is something that needs to be looked at. I don't know, are any of you satisfied with the design, the layout of your classes?
I think they're mixing it in.
Okay,
Right.
All right.
I can go into one classroom and my computer's in the very center, you know, and so it blocks the view if I'm projecting something on the screen for half the classroom, right? And then, but if I'm over in the classroom building, everything's perfect because the computer's over to the side and there's clear shots of the projector and all that kind of stuff. So I think some are designed maybe with a little more thoughtfulness than others, and I think the big difference is the retrofitting. For classrooms in Russell and classrooms in Morrison, we just threw a computer in there so that they could use the projector and land it in a good spot, you know.
Yeah, that has a lot to do with classroom built and molding.
So going back, I guess, so you think in the future, instead of getting projectors, we're just going to get monitors?
Yes, that would be my opinion, and I don't think that is too far off. Like I said, some classrooms, smaller classrooms, it makes sense today to do it that.
Well,
But even in your larger classrooms, I would say that the way that technology is coming down the drives, 2 to 4 years probably on the long side, but it makes sense to do it in every classroom. And the other advantage is that, which is not considerable or overloads, is you don't have the lane control issues that you have with the projector. So, you know, we've got all what you have lines.
Oh yeah,
You know, it's good lines and big and tunnel. It doesn't block out the projector. Whereas TVs, at home, right on the projector, you know, we have blackout lines. Make the difference. You don't have that. We literally call it.
well, the one thing, I guess the one, I mean, I like the idea of the monitor, but, you know, what we do is we project onto a whiteboard. And that way I can be writing on that whiteboard and projecting at the same time. If it's a monitor, I lost my ability to write anything. Yeah, yeah. We do have one in our building, but it's just one. And, you know, if I'm not teaching in that.
Yeah, and, you know, and that kind of thing is all stuff that, particularly on the technology side, is not always considered. That's why it's so good.
I mean, I guess I could still, if we just move the whiteboard over, I could write over there, but it's not going to be, you know, sometimes I'm writing what's on being projected.
You are now unmuted.
If I can chime in there, most schools that I've worked with are trying to go the route of some form of interactive whiteboard. There are less expensive options versus smart or Promethean boards you can do, such as Mimeo and other similar products that are far less expensive for the interactive whiteboard. But I see fewer and fewer monitors because they are so expensive compared to a traditional whiteboard that is morphed into an interactive whiteboard.
You are now muted.
You know, Dale's actually got a series out too, the 500 series of interactive projectors. Where it's actually the surface you're projecting on, the interactivity built into the projector rather than the touch sensitivity. So, there's actually one of those over line between.
And different faculty will have different using them. But it's not like, not so like you can take the clock out of their hands and you die. And then But we also most of our we have one whiteboard that we have for application, and then we use just the projectors possibly. Just as long as you were doing it for us, we can use this a lot of portables. We have to go in, disconnect the existing setup, plug into it, and then hopefully remember to reconnect.
We don't have any on campus, but I'm here with that.
So, how is this? It's a whiteboard, but is it like projecting like the smartboard is projecting, or how is that working?
You are now unmuted.
So I just dropped the link to Mimeo.com in there, and it's an add-on to a traditional whiteboard that makes the whiteboard interactive. And I'm looking at the educator pricing. I think it was about $500, max $700, where smartboards are often several thousand. So Mimeo is just one example. There are other, and that's the name brand. There are other name brands that do similar, where they morph a traditional whiteboard into an interactive whiteboard. Smartboards, you're looking anywhere from typically, I think minimum's $3,000 to about $7,000. The portable interactive whiteboards are about $7,000 for Smart or Promethean, which are the two leading companies, I believe. But the traditional projector, you can get anywhere, even the portable ones, for $500, and then they can go up to several thousand depending on the strength of the projection quality and the overall projection quality of the projector will make it a lot more expensive. But a traditional portable projector is about, $500. You can get it on sale. And then the Mimeo type thing, which is the modification for a traditional whiteboard, I believe is about $500 or $700 the last time I looked at it. So don't quote me on any of those prices, but I dropped the link to Mimeo in there so you can at least kind of peruse it and get an idea of what that product is like.
So you're using a projector with that? Just a typical projector? Is that how it works?
Yes, ma'am.
Probably
You are now muted.
you can project a website and you can push the buttons on the screen, right?
Yeah.
So that's the turns your smartboard into your computer screen. It turns your whiteboard into your computer screen.
Mm-hmm.
You are now unmuted.
You've got around your experiences.
Most of ours are small plans.
Is that because you have a contract with Monarchs?
Well, they are listed.
Special deals?
They do participate listed, so which is Western State Contracting Alliance, which is Oklahoma State Contracting. No, this setup here is setup.
You are now muted.
I don't know what it means base pricing, but we need to follow it up. We're talking on setup and size of the board matters, but just your standard smart interactive whiteboard that's about 86 to 90 years of age. About $1,200. That's our projector. You cut them. It's a long projector. Things don't project really short words like this. HyperLab, you'll ever get a chance to go in there, or Wayne Jones' classroom over there. He's got it, so they're identical. They're the only two rear projection small ones. So surround on the LCD monitor. Both of them for 60 or 65 inch monitors. They're about $6,000 when you buy a monitor. So price on those.
So if we went around it, is this an option first? I mean, considering they're not part of the contract that you mentioned, is this an option?
Yeah, it absolutely would be an option. The state contract pricing really comes into play when you get to that money. To use a vendor that's not state contracted, you really have to go out on the bid process. You can do, you can just do free, quote me at $10,000, do it for $5,000. We try to stay with vendors that are on this as a comparative price. Because frankly, in education, we can do things in this, and we can, our bails that we buy, we bail participates in this, and most of the state agencies buy for this price system. So we're a good 5-10% this price. State approved price. Macintosh, Apple's, they don't participate in the state company. They have their education or educational pricing. It doesn't matter. Negotiate for the price. But versus their non-educational prices, I mean, it's pretty discounted. We buy a lot of stuff from CDWG, HP, printers, and stuff like that. All
We talked some about if we were to use tools like the button in general classrooms, we would need how many microphones, and I know that Tim Smith has a microphone array in his classroom. Do you have any idea how much that costs, or do you have any feedback?
I do, because he gave me the purchase order. His last one was about $250 for the microphone.
You can answer that if you need to.
Wide angle will pick up most
Yeah.
of the class.
Yeah, it's like on the ceiling, hooks up everything. Because I was looking into it, so he gave me the purchase of that.
on something like that, you target. I'll tell you a project like that, but I'm certainly doing a project. If you wanted to target sponsors, you probably each school designates a classroom to purpose to absorb. Beyond the microphones, what all the required to do.
Well, this is, we're running through that right now to participate with Crystal, and we have a $16 webcam and a microphone. So, we'd like a better setup if this works. so what we're interested in is how we can do something like this in other classrooms. For example, then in any classroom, a student were on a trip or had a reason to want to participate remotely, they could do that from a general class. And we talked about this also in regards to IDTV,
but it would serve both purposes. It was a way to be able to connect remotely to another site. It would make distance a possibility for them.
Synchronous interactive, this is the. Well, I mean, let's kind of look at this and talk about it. Preach the topic. Okay. Is this as good as we can get here? I mean, take a look at this.
This is free. I mean, what we're looking at is free. Of course.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. The board's not free. The cameras aren't free.
And I've mentioned, this is low end regardless. If the button's free, it's a $16 webcam, and the mic is whatever my husband spent for it. It's my personal one.
But it's piggybacking on like the existing projectors.
Right.
You said there was something that we can do through Blackboard. Pay a little extra.
Blackboard has Blackboard Collaborate, and Justin had emailed them to ask for costs and whether we'd be able to do file things. If we haven't heard back from them yet, and they don't have a freeze file, but we can try to work it out. There's also Adobe Connect, which Dr. Harvey has used in past schools. I've gotten mixed feedback on satisfaction with that, but they do have a free trial.
You are now unmuted.
So, of course, I've got to chime in for Google Hangouts. I've been using it with my students. Synchronous Live, both in classroom for the back channel effect and the more interactive effect within the classroom. So the students bring their own devices and are logged into the Hangout. If they just click on the link and they just click join and they're in. And I can share my screen with them, so it's in their hand and their device, and it doesn't cost anything extra. So the Google Suite's totally free. Professional development around Google Hangouts and all of Google Apps is totally free. There's a huge international community that publishes the professional development for free. And most students that I have experienced, of course, I teach technology, they already have all their own devices that have webcams and microphones built in. So there's absolutely no extra cost at all. And the other benefit is that the students will have these free tools at their disposal even after they leave Southeastern. And much of the educational communities I've seen work with Google Apps, and many, many workplaces are going Google Apps as well. So it's free for forever, likely. I don't think Google will change that.
You are now muted.
Just give the face chat or similar to Google button, can we put our PowerPoint in there?
Yes.
You are now unmuted.
Yeah, actually, you can do everything. You can upload presentations. You can record the session through an app that's the one cost. If you wanted to add that feature of recording the session, it's a $20 one-time fee. The app is Screencastify. It's such a huge global community behind Google Apps for education that you have developers creating apps for free. So I can share my screen, I can record my screen, I can load presentations, I can do full web virtual field trips. I had a Google Hangout with my class and a friend of mine, she's an expert in MakerEd out of California, 2 nights ago during my class. And again, she just shared the link and we were all in. So, and again, that's all free. If you want to record the session, the best app for that is $20 one time. But again, all the students have their devices, so you don't need to purchase anything else. If you wanted to project that Google Hangout in the class, you could, but you don't have to because the students have all their own devices right in their hands where they're looking at and participating in the chat and can even text back and forth via the chat window.
You are now muted.
Google button and Google Apps and Google Hangouts are very similar in a lot of ways, so that's another one that we can look at. As far as other options, the
that are paid for. I know some universities subscribe to the meeting. A lot of people are familiar with how it works. Of course, it's not free. But that's an option. They do have a free trial.
Did Tim say he did his dissertation defense on government? Yes.
Their meeting is what, my husband finished his master's degree recently, and they subscribe to the meeting. So that's a unusual. So those are, so good for that Google Apps, Adobe Connect, Blackboard Collaborate, and GoToMeeting. That would be the 5 that I would name as ones that we could look at. And we can do trial and run most of those pretty easily. Blackboard Collaborate for some reason is the one that is really the most difficult to do a trial of.
If I may, how it strikes me, and this will probably come as no surprise, is you're looking for a substitute product. I don't see any systematic examination or deliberation about what we want to do pedagogically. And I know Crystal can drop all the links and name all the products. I get it. I would prefer, and Crystal, you're not privy to this, Tom Harvey wrote up, in my opinion, a brilliant 3-page transition idea of transitioning from IETV in a stair-step fashion, and in doing so, have products and tools all vetted by a committee with a rubric, guided by sound instructional principles. And I just don't see that going on here. Okay, may I make a recommendation then? I recommend that as the chair, you've been given that document. Alistair as co-chair has been given that document. Tim Boatman and I have been given that document. I request that you request of Tom Harvey that this be distributed to the committee electronically.
You are now.
And I would recommend that we carefully consider his recommendations. And I'm in favor of proceeding.
And I didn't know the meeting, I would have asked him already if he's going to come up on, but it was typed. So certainly he can, that 2 days. Yes, Crystal.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing that. So this sort of transition from no tech, low tech to whatever tech we want has been my area of work and research for over 15 years. So I'm definitely interested in seeing that document. And I thought we were just discussing the initial possibilities at this point, but I did not know that we were drafting formal agreements or plans during this meeting. But I will definitely look forward to that document.
You are now muted.
And ultimately, what he's saying is that we need to investigate further. That's not, we can't accomplish all that dogmatically. So where we're going to end, ultimately, is we can get the ball rolling and say that we want to go further.
But yeah, I'd be interested in seeing the letter.
Right.
I haven't seen it.
And it is, I'm sure he still has it on his computer, so I don't think it'll be transferred. I can't imagine a reason why he wouldn't want it.
One of the things that's very good and I like a lot concerning vendors, live demonstrations, a recommended migration to stair steps implementation, a warranty, and extensive, approachable, and expert product support. I think that's very important. And the so-called rush, the timeline, and that mentality, I think, engenders the possibility of making rash decisions. And I know that products you're mentioning for the most part are very inexpensive, and that's good. What I want to see is if they work. And in just our brief forays here, I mean, it's not bad. It's not great.
So what we could do is after we do the survey of all of our instructional technology and that kind of stuff, we as a committee could start working with instructional technologies, especially kind of the interface with, something to replace IATV. We could experiment with that stuff, narrow it down to a couple of things, and then have all faculty, anybody who wants to come show up and see what we're looking at, come and play with it, come test it out, we'll block off 3 or 4 classrooms and just do it, use it, play with it, experiment with it.
I think you'll like Tom's letter. It's right in line with that.
You are now
So at
unmuted.
this point on this topic, I think that I need to ask for him to email me the letter so I
Thank
can
you.
send it out and we can continue this discussion on Blackboard. There's really only one other, and there's not a lot for me to talk about on there. I wanted to put it on the list because it's something that we need to talk about, something that Dr. Bressler had brought up. And he's not able to make it to the Friday meetings, but he certainly deserves to be represented here. And one of his comments, and it is on the discussion board, is that he feels like we need to do a better job at preparing our students
You are now muted.
for the online or whatever type of classes that they're going to be taking. And I had mentioned in one place, and I can't show you because it's barely started, but with academic partnerships, I'm having to make a online student orientation. And that will include everything that's right now in the Blackboard overview, as well as the library tutorials, as well as a variety of other test taking, how long you should expect to spend, what is the browser, how do you print from the browser, a lot of Microsoft, how you get Microsoft, how you make PowerPoint come on. So a lot of the whole range. And so that's something that we could, I think, easily modify to be for everyone. The one that I'm making right now is going to have some content in it that's NBA specific. But that's actually pretty minimal. So after I have that, and it has to be available to students by May 9th. So I would be getting that done. That'll be the priority for the first couple of weeks after spring break. So one of the next meetings I should be able to show you that for any feedback. But I don't know if that addresses everything or not that he's concerned about. I know that he mentioned that he would feel better if there was more advising on the subject, more vetting the students. Are you really prepared to take an online class? If you have to take an online class and you're not really ready, what can you do to change that? Be prepared for that. So I wanted to bring that up in a meeting, but it's also on the discussion board and we can talk more about how it's kind of fun. But with that, is there any discussion of that if you want to bring in at this point or just?
I think it's fantastic. If we could just give every student that uses any type of online or interactive module in our educational whole far-reaching system, if we could just give them a short little 2-page illustrated, quick guide.
You mean in the advising session?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially in the programs where it's all online or, business school, all that kind of stuff. Just an introductory Cliff's Notes, here's how you access these things, here's a quick guide to Blackboard, here's a quick guide, all in one spot, not go to this link to find this, go to this link to find that, all in one spot.
Also related to that, another thing that, I don't know how familiar you are, or how much you've gotten to hear from MBA faculty, what all's going on with AP. I've been really impressed and really liked working with them. But my other big project has been making a standard template so that all of the MBA courses have the same look and feel. And that's something that I can show you too, and that might be part of a recommendation that we could discuss. But their template has a shorter menu, and all of them will have the same menu. So ideally, a student, once they get into the course, needs to learn the content, not how to navigate again and again. So all of them will have a start here button, which to an extent will already be filled in. For example, anything that is going to be standard across the entire MBA will already be there. Their program objectives will already be there. The link to Southeastern's Connecticut rules will already be there. And that's something that Justin and I will be responsible for keeping up with, so if something changes, we will take care of that, and it takes the burden off the faculty. And just other information that they've determined will be the same for all of their courses will already be loaded. And then anywhere that they need the information, but it will be to their classes, just written in red, this is where you should put this. The instructor info and the syllabus buttons are taken off of the menu, and they're put in the Start Here button to make the menu shorter. The discussion board link is taken off, and that way the two main buttons for the course, there's 7 buttons total, but there's 2 main buttons for the students, and that's Start Here and Coursework. The coursework has a folder for week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. They have 7 weeks and 2 days, so they have 8 week folders. And the discussion boards are part of the folder. All the content is put in a chronological order of how they should complete it, or a logical sequential order, even if they're allowed to skip around. Every week has an introduction and conclusion. Those are just kind of in red, fill in here. And then from there, they put all their content in between. But just the look and feel idea. Every time they go into a course, they know that they can get their syllabus, their instructor information, and other general information and Start Here. And every week, they know where to go and how to submit their work. So that's something that it's actually, except for a word that they're going to finish on the Monday after spring break, it's finished. So that's something I can show. We're pretty late right now, so, and there's not a whole lot of us here right now, so I'd rather do that in the next meeting. But that's something that I can show and tell also. We can talk about whether that's the direction that we would want to move. Again, it's something that they're specific, so that will be modified. And it will be modified.
You are now unmuted. You are now muted.
But nearly
That was fantastic.
anything else for today?
Move to adjourn. Anyway.
Crystal, thank you for joining.
Thank you. I will send you those links, and if you can send me a copy of that letter, I appreciate it.
I will add you to the website also, so that we.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
All right.
James is very knowledgeable.
You are now muted.
I think I'm just gonna bring that other up next time.
I
just- I think I will.
It's already like down, I would bring up a Blackboard.
Yeah. I talked to him at say when I talk to you guys. Yes, that would be really fun.
Really?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.